The wind dances through the clusters of leaves. The sunlight hits the water of the single pool outside, causing it to sparkle like diamonds as the waves of the water dance. A slim woman with long and wavy hair named Odella Bale was sitting in a middle part of a long soft couch covered in moist green leather with a golden-coated frame. She was wearing a turquoise A-line sleeveless dress that reached her knee, which she paired with Christian Louboutin's black leather booties. Odella was a brunette. Her facial features were delicate and easy to remember: small face, deep-set brown eyes, thin lips, and a slender nose. She was not that stunning, but still enchanting. A simple woman, they say. "Miss Bale. I will take you now to Sir's office," the man with a grey beard said, interrupting her silence. He was wearing a black blazer and a pair of trousers. Odella stood up to follow Mr. Ramos, the butler at Caleb Farrell's villa. The person who precipitated her visit was Odella's ex-fiancé. She believes the marriage arrangement between them a decade ago was not that sincere. They were too young then. Perhaps he may have forgotten who she is. A long hallway greeted her as she continued to walk on clear and shiny marble tiles. Mr. Ramos stopped in front of the second room. He knocked twice on the door, made of thick wood. "Come in," a voice with a baritone said from inside the room. "You may now come in, Miss Bale." Mr. Ramos opened the door wide. Odella's eyes met the man sitting in the metal wheelchair that she had not seen for years. Like in the old days, Caleb appeared with a strange and robust aura that made everyone shiver. His dark hair was longer than he used to wear, it now reaches his shoulder. There was also a growing mustache and beard on his chin. His body grew even more prominent from the last time she saw him. Caleb was there next to the wide table, which was at the far end of the room. Odella seemed enveloped by the cold, meeting the man she had not seen for 10 years. Then she heard the door behind her shut. She gulped as she was even tenser now that she was alone with this man. "What are you doing here, Odella?" There was a surprise and coldness in Caleb's voice, looking confused. He rolled the thin wheels to shorten their distance. Odella's throat churned as a strange tension seemed to flow through her every vein. I want to know how you are." Caleb pressed his back against his wheelchair. His eyes roam over her, which makes her even more uneasy. "TSS. Cut the crap, Odella. We could say hello in 10 years, why now? What do you want?" That's right. The thought that they had a relationship back then sparked her courage a little. I want to ask for your help." Caleb's lips raised as if there was something that made him amused while looking at her standing next to him. Those lips. Why does he always raise it? Was there anything funny? Do I look like a fool in front of him? Despite that, it's different from how she feels. She was even more agitated, as if she was afraid of being rejected again. "A help? Go on." He urged her to continue. "Listen, I know that you have 20% in the Bale Hotel that you got from the inheritance of your father. And so, I need your help." Odella avoided looking at Caleb because there seemed to be a threat in his gazes. He was silent for a moment. However, she could feel that he stared at every part of her body. "And why would I do that?" "Please, Caleb, you are the last person I could think of." The pain didn't hide on her elegant face, remembering the conversation she had with the representative of the Infinite Company. Infinite Company bought most of the businesses under Bale Corporation. Months ago, Broad, Odella's brother, left nothing but debt after managing it for 5 years. He sold it to different companies, and then Infinite acquired them. There was something in Infinite that seemed like death chasing the Bale. They preserved the Bale Hotel because it has its own company. Odella's family has 60% of the total shares before in the hotel. Odella has 10 out of that 60, which she got from the inheritance from her grandfather. Broad sold the 30% shares and left her with the other 20. After that, her brother flew outside the country and hid somewhere, together with the money, letting all the burden to Odella. 3 days ago, Infinite Company spoke to me, and they want to buy the 30% under my possession. They plan to have all the shares from different holders to own the hotel entirely. Caleb, I know that you have 20% shares of the Bale Hotel. Your grandpa gave it to you 5 years ago. So, he asked nonchalantly. Please help me stop the Infinite. I can't let them have the hotel. It's supposed to be mine. She couldn't hold back her tears. I know you can help me, Caleb. You can help me stop them. I can't afford to leave the hotel. Caleb's face grew colder. He obviously didn't like her cries. Odella took a few big, long breaths to regain her composure. She bit her lips to control her emotion. He rotated his wheelchair in the direction of his desk while she seemed to have a sigh of relief as the distance between them stretched. What will you give in exchange for my help? Why, you can have the 60% that Bale would earn annually from the income shares. She thought that was big enough for him to help her. He raised the corner of his lips as if what he had heard amused him. 90. I want 90% of your annual income shares. That's ridiculous. Then no is my answer. Caleb even shrugs his shoulders. It's expected that he acted that way, he has nothing to lose. 70. I'll give you 70. He chuckled. Did you know that there are many companies that could give what I ask of you? What other things can you offer me? His eyes trailed over her body, and then a thought formed his idea. What if I demanded you as a payment? Odella averted her gaze. It was as if the wind had blown all her remaining courage away from hearing his statement. Caleb continued, come closer. Hand clasped, she obeys. She would give her complete trust again to this man once she agreed to his statement. Odella seemed hypnotized, approaching Caleb's wheelchair. She stopped a meter across from him, but he pulled her arm. Instead, she ended up sitting on his lap, which made her gasp in a second. Flushed appears on her cheeks, considering how close they were. See Caleb? The smell of an ocean breeze enveloped her senses. Shhh. The tips of Caleb's fingers traced Odella's skin from her arms, slowly ascending to her shoulder like a guinea pig examined carefully by a researcher. His hand stopped on her neck and gently caressed it. Small voltages seemed to play through her body. Different emotions in Caleb's eyes while meeting her eyes. Gosh! How much I miss those dark green balls. What if I get my initial payment now? Asked Caleb, eyebrow slightly raised. See Caleb? Odella gasped when his lips landed on her shoulder, then grunted, feeling his teeth pierced into her skin. Soon after, she then felt his tongue as if tasting her blood. It was too fast, and she didn't know where it went wrong. Caleb's face tightened, then he narrowed his eyes. He asked her to leave. Get out. It was as if she had suddenly done something to cool his mood. Odella stood up, trembling. Caleb moved his wheelchair away from her towards his French window. See Caleb? Despair was in her voice. I'll think about it. I'll give my answer until tomorrow, he coldly said, not looking at her. The pain was written all over Odella's face, looking at his back. This was the man she had loved for 10 years, but destiny has deliberately toyed with them. She could do nothing but get out of the room.